University of North Texas. This is NTTV Nightly News.
ICE operations in Minneapolis finally end after weeks of tension.
If you have a dog, you might want to watch what you're feeding them.
Basketball will face off against the University of Memphis on a national broadcast.
Good evening. Thank you for joining us on NTTV Nightly News. I'm Melanie Garcia.
And I'm Landry Brady. The Trump administration says its intense ICE operations in Minnesota is coming to an end. Border Czar Tom Homan announced today immigration officials will be withdrawn soon. The move comes after ICE agents killed 2 people earlier this year. Brian Abel has the latest.
I have proposed, and President Trump has concurred, that this surge operation conclude.
The federal immigration crackdown in Minnesota coming to an end as U.S. Border Czar Tom Homan announces agents are leaving the state.
A significant drawdown has already been underway this week.
The aggressive surge that began in December, called the largest immigration operation ever by DHS, was met with fierce criticism and resistance by Minnesotans almost instantaneously, with clashes between protesters and agents in Minneapolis and residents becoming observers, filming immigration enforcement actions in real time, leading to the first major flashpoint: the killing of Renee Good by an ICE agent. Her death sparking at times violent confrontations between protesters and federal agents. Tensions exacerbated by a second U.S. civilian killed in Minneapolis by a federal agent, Alex Preddy. The deaths upping pressure on the White House to end the operation as protesters mobilized and Democratic lawmakers threatened to withhold DHS funding unless ICE reforms happen. The Minnesota AG saying this about the crackdown to senators on Capitol Hill the day Homan announced the end of the enforcement operation.
The surge is contributing to violent crime, members. It's contributing to violent crime. 2 of the 3 homicides committed in Minneapolis in 2026 have come at the hands of federal immigration agents.
In Washington,
An art piece that criticizes ICE was canceled by UNT today. NTTV's Camden Rensink is live with more on the story. Camden.
Thank you, Melanie. The piece created by street artist Victor Quiñones was planned to open in the Seabed Art Gallery next week. It was designed to represent Mexican and Mexican-American expression. UNT told Quiñones their agreement was terminated. A few students saw the exhibit before the windows of the CVAD building were covered. And it's a little hard to see, but behind me, the windows of the art gallery are blocked for outside view. Canceling the exhibit could be against UNT's art policies that reflect First Amendment rights. Art can be removed if the university suspects an exhibit contains obscene language. That's all I have for now. With NTTV Nightly News, I'm Camden Rensink. Back to the desk.
Thanks, Camden. Today, thousands of people gathered at the Lincoln Memorial in Washington to greet a group of monks who walked across the U.S. The monks began their walk for peace over 100 days ago. In Fort Worth, they traveled 2,300 miles on foot. Supporters greeted them at the Washington National Cathedral, where the monks spoke about practicing mindfulness to get peace of mind. They faced big challenges on their journey. 2 monks were hit by a truck and 1 had their leg amputated. He rejoined the other monks in a wheelchair and did not give up. They're planning to return to Texas this weekend, but will take a bus instead of walking back.
You know, Landry, I was wearing a sweater this morning because it was so cold out, but now it just got hot and I was wearing this dress.
Yeah, Mel, I know. Texas has really been up and down with weather lately.
That's right. Well, let's toss it over to our weather anchor, Grace Escobar, for our first look. Grace?
Landry, Melanie, I have been loving this spring weather. Cool in the morning, nice in the evening, and stays a little cooler at night. That's all I want. Currently it's 69, keeping with those cooler nighttime temperatures with our wind speeds at only 7 miles an hour. Tonight it's only going to drop slightly, getting down to 55 with our wind being just a cool breeze at 5 miles an hour. Tomorrow the temperature is going to heat up even more than it was today, reaching 79, and it's going to be even windier at 12 miles an hour. So it's going to be a nice day to start the weekend. That's all for First Look. Back to you guys at the desk.
Thanks, Grace. Well, since the weather is going to be good tomorrow, I'm sure we will see a lot of electric scooters zooming across campus. But that might not be the case for much longer, thanks to a new policy. I spoke to students on campus to get their thoughts on these scooter changes.
If you walk around the University of North Texas campus during the day, you are probably familiar with the electric scooters that zoom by as the students who drive them are rushing to class. But what if that is about to change? As of the 2025 fall semester, UNT has banned all scooters from entering any buildings on campus, and now there's potential for them to not be around at all. And students have opinions.
Usually they just fly around wherever they wanted to and act like nobody's in front of them, no one's on the side to them. So I'm glad that they're not there on the way out.
Because they don't let it inside the dorms either, and that's the way I get to campus, so how am I supposed to charge my scooter if it can't go inside?
The UNT Department of Transportation says the reason for the change in policy in where students can charge and store their scooters is because of their lithium batteries. According to a post on their Instagram, lithium-ion batteries can overheat if improperly charged or damaged, posing a fire hazard. But what does that mean for students who live on campus?
I wasn't really sure where to charge it, or like where to put it, because living on campus, they just recently put up the charging station in front of the Union, but that wasn't there at the beginning of the year.
While the policy change currently only affects where students can store and charge their scooters, according to the Transportation Department, the policy is subject to change by next semester. So despite students' opinions like,
I don't like scooters because I got hit by one.
I love scooters on campus.
They are kind of hazardous. I think scooters should have a speed limit.
I don't mind scooters as long as they don't hit me.
The scooters on campus might be rolling out. For North Texas Television, I'm Landry Brady.
People who prefer to fly instead of ride scooters are running into some problems. Southwest Airlines is working to straighten a few kinks out after switching to assigned seating. The Dallas-based carrier abandoned its long-standing first-come, first-serve format. Loyal passengers are complaining that the organized boarding process is causing overhead storage to get full before they get on the plane. Southwest says changes are coming soon, and they will likely have premium and elite flyers board earlier to solve these issues.
Coming up next, a horse finds itself in an icy situation.
And if you're looking for a Valentine's gift, we know where you can show your love. Stick around after the break.
The do's and don'ts of the Pole Rec Center. See that man over there? Please do not hog weights. Instead, do this. Another important part is having an attentive spotter. See, here is an example of a non-attentive spotter. Instead, do this. Now we head to the track, which should be pretty easy, just it's important to pay attention to the way the track goes. Remember to wipe down the equipment after you're done using it. The towels are provided by the gym, so it's pretty easy to wipe down the equipment when you are done. Thank you for using the Pole Recreation Center.
Major improvements are coming soon to Danton's animal shelter. The upgrades are arriving 3 years after voters approved a $42 million bond package.
NTTV's Nick Stocklosa is live at the shelter with the details. Nick?
Thanks, guys. Starting this April, the Lindenvic Nat Animal Care and Adoption Center will be getting expansion. The project will add a new wing to the building, as well as renovations including larger hold areas, new play areas, improved quarantine spaces, and an expanded clinic. The City of Denton says the expansion aims to increase efficiency and give the shelter more capacity to continue its important work in the community. A groundbreaking ceremony will be held on April 29th. From NDTV Nightly News, I'm Nick Stoccolosa. Back to you guys in the studio.
Thanks, Nick. And as pet lovers get ready to help more animals here in Denton, there is a new warning for people who already own dogs. A new study says most dog food contains dangerous levels of heavy metals and other contaminants. Researchers say dogs have a higher risk of developing cancer if they consume these metals. According to a nonprofit Clean Label project, dog food contains up to 13 times more heavy metals than human food. This study did not specify which dog food brands are more at risk, but it did say that fresh and frozen food contain less metal than dry food.
Another beloved pet is thankfully healthy tonight after a close call in an icy pool. Earlier this week, Dixie the horse fell into an in-ground pool outside an Ohio home. Firefighters had a heavy task as they worked together to lift the 1,200-pound horse out of the water. They held Dixie's head above the water with a tow strapped while working to get her to safety. The fire chief says once they got things in place, it only took them 30 seconds to get Dixie to dry land. Dixie was tired but got the medical attention she needed. A day later, the horse was walking around, nay, okay.
Do you have any Valentine's Day plans this weekend?
You know what, Landry? The only plans I have this weekend include me working all day.
Well, hopefully the weather does not scare away your customers because it's going to rain. Our weather anchor, Grace Esquivel, is here to let us know what to expect the next 7 days. Grace?
Melanie, I think you're in luck and you're going to get lots of tips on Valentine's Day because that rain is going to keep those couples' picnics not happening. Before we get into that, though, let's look across North Texas at our current temperatures. It's a nice, beautiful Thursday night with a mix of high 60s and low 70s. Up in Bowie at 71, same indicator. Now out in Graham at 75, a little bit warmer, but still keeping with the trend. Then down in Dallas, it's 71. Now as we look across our state, we can see around the same. Up in Oklahoma City, it's 67, Amarillo is 70, Abilene is 74, and down in Austin, it's a nice warm 77. Now as we look to our 7-day forecast, we can see sadly the only day with rain is going to be Valentine's Day. Hopefully that does not rain on any lovers' plans, but it's still going to be pretty warm at 68 degrees and a low of 49. As we move throughout the weekend, it's going to clear up at 69, but being partly cloudy. Monday is our only day with full sun, so if that's your time to tan, good luck, because it's going to be 77 with a low of 51. Tuesday is going to be 78, and Wednesday is the warmest day on our map at 82 degrees. We're going to round out the week with a 78-degree Thursday. That's all I have for weather. Oh wait, sorry, 1 second. With Valentine's Day right around the corner, and even with the rain, many are still celebrating right here on UNT's campus. One of our NTTV reporters has a story. Layla.
Valentine's Day is known for roses, chocolates, and, let's be honest, big spending. The National Retail Federation says Americans are expected to spend on an average of around $200 on gifts. The group says the most popular gift is candy, followed by flowers and cards. But here at UNT, students are proving don't need a big budget to show love. The Union Arts Center is hosting a free Valentine's card, happening right now until 8 p.m. That gives students a chance to get creative and save money, whether you're making a card for your significant other, your mom, or your friends. Retail groups say that men typically spend up to 5 times more than women. I hope my boyfriend is listening. That's all for me. Back to you at the desk.
Thanks, Layla. Up next, McDonald's brings back a popular drink that would leave you with a green tongue. We'll explain.
And we will give you a recap of special moments at the Olympics.
Hey you! Yeah, you. Tax day is right around the corner, and the IRS has free resources to help you. Just visit their website or contact our volunteer income tax program at 800-906-9887. You don't want the IRS knocking at your door. Whew, I guess it's too late for you. Pay now or pay later with interest. File your taxes.
Has this ever happened to you?
My bike! My bike is gone!
Stolen bikes are an epidemic sweeping college campuses across America.
What am I supposed to do?
It's quite simple. The We Mean Green Fund has partnered with the UNT Police Department to offer free bike locks to any UNT student with a bike. Just show up with your bike in tow and ask.
Now I'll never lose my bike ever again.
Enough worrying. Get your bike lock today.
TRIO is a federally funded grant program. It was funded in the 60s, and it supports student success and student retention. So we have a lounge, computer lab, free printing for our students. We also provide one-on-one advising services for our students, as well as career exploration and prep. Students who are eligible for TRIO include those who are first-gen, low income, or have a disability. They just have to meet one of those three. There are many benefits to being in TRIO. Some of the general ones are the services we provide. The other benefits include creating a sense of community, a sense of belonging, and giving a safe space for students to come. Students can apply for our program by either coming in person and scanning a QR code, or they can also visit our webpage that has a direct link to our online application. And students need to know that we are here to help.
A recent study is highlighting the important links between sleep and exercise. Sometimes I wonder if I could have more energy to go to the gym if I slept longer. Segment anchor Riley Oldenburg may have the answer for me.
That's right, Landry. According to the CDC, 77% of teens get insufficient sleep. For everyone, especially teens, getting good sleep and exercise is crucial to brain development and good mental health. CNN's Mandy Gaither has more on how enough sleep helps teens be more active.
It's a rising problem. Around 77% of high schoolers reported insufficient sleep on a CDC survey. While sleep is an important pillar of health and well-being, a new study finds it's also closely connected to another critical component: exercise.
There's a common fear that if teens sleep more, there will be less time for them to be active. And our results really suggest the opposite.
Kayla Johnson with the University of Minnesota School of Public Health is lead author of the research, which found that sleep is the foundation of physical activity. And if a teen can get sufficient sleep, it will likely help them to move more.
The kids that are sleeping more are also the kids that are spending less time sitting around on the couch.
8 to 10 hours of sleep each day is recommended for teens ages 13 to 18. To help them get adequate sleep, Johnson says we need to stop fighting teen body clocks.
Well, a lot of parents and teens don't realize that there is a biological shift that occurs in the early teen years, which delay the internal signals that make you tired. And this makes going to bed before 10 or 11 p.m. extremely difficult for teens.
Johnson says teens who are more in line with their biological clock and go to sleep a little later are also the ones who move more throughout the day. She says changes need to be made at school and home to support sufficient sleep.
Making sure that everyone knows how much sleep they actually need and supporting them in having a regular sleep schedule.
For Health Minute,
This same team is also studying whether starting school later would help teens improve sleep going to bed later. This would be more in line with their biological clock. That's all from me. Back to you at the desk.
Thanks, Riley. One fast food giant is resting easy these days thanks to some big money moves. McDonald's says that its U.S. sales rose nearly 7% in the last quarter of the fiscal year. Global sales also increased by nearly 6% during that time. Part of the reason for the rise in sales is the company bringing back its popular Monopoly game as well as the Grinch Meal deal around the holidays. With the boost in sales, the luck of the iris is returning to the Golden Arches. The minty green fan favorite Shamrock Shake will be back ahead of St. Patrick's Day. The popular dessert is set to hit McDonald's restaurants on Tuesday. It has been a staple for this time since 1970. The company will also bring back the Oreo Shamrock McFlurry, which debuted in 2020.
The first week of the Winter Olympics has already gave the Team USA some of the big moments, both good and bad, for its stars. Our segment anchor Jenny Yanez joins us in the studio with an update. Jenny?
Thanks, guys. With the 2026 Winter Olympics continuing, so are all the memorable highlights. One of the team's USA's most recognizable athletes is now facing a long road to recovery after a devastating crash on the slopes. American ski legend Lindsey Vonn says success has taken on a completely new meaning after undergoing her third surgery since crashing during the downhill event in Cortina d'Ampezzo. The third-time Olympic medalist shared on Instagram that the surgery was successful, but recovery will be slow after suffering a complex tibial fracture. The crash happened just seconds into her run after catching a gate with her arm. Although recovery could take months, Vonn says she has no regrets about competing and is now focused on healing while cheering on her teammates in Italy. U.S. Olympic downhill gold medalist Breezy Johnson is engaged after her boyfriend Connor Watkins proposed at the base of the Cortina slopes after the Alpine Ski Women's Surf Super G race. Watkins states he had been planning the proposal over a year after Johnson says she mentioned to him her dream of getting engaged to the Olympic tournament. Outside of the snow-capped slopes and ice rinks of the Milan Olympics, there's a heartwarming tradition what dates back farther than you may think. Olympic pin trading takes place at every game and has the potential to make lasting friendships. With all the events coming to an end soon, that's a look at the Olympic highlights. Back to you guys at the desk.
Thanks, Jenny. If I'm going to be honest, I really don't know much about the Olympics.
Yeah, Landry, me either, but luckily we have our sports anchor Elias Freeman live at the Super Bowl pit to tell us more about things Olympic, plus some UNT men's basketball. Elias?
Guys, when we come back, I'll have updates from Milan Cortina as well as news about our very own Mean Green men's basketball team who plays right here in the Super Pit in less than 2 hours. Don't go away.
Can I see your voter registration, please? All right, you're good. No registration, no entry. All right. Let me see your voter registration card, please.
I'm not registered to vote.
No registration, no entry.
Dude, my friends are already in there.
No registration, no entry.
What the?
Join the club. Register to vote today.
Good evening, my name is Amanda Hasbell and I'm joining you here today in the Union Parking Garage. Today we're going to be going over how to drive safely in the parking garage. Let's go see. Oh my god, this girl just got hit by a car. Let's go see what happened. Ma'am, are you okay? Are you okay?
Did you see that lady hit me with a car?
Yeah, we did. I got it all on video.
Oh my god.
Let's go over here and talk about how we can prevent that.
Yeah, not the hospital.
Well, right now we're going to ask you a couple questions on how we can drive safely in the parking lot. What are ways that we can be aware of our surroundings?
Oh, we can look both ways.
Jenna, also, how about putting the distractions away?
Yes, just like our phones, turning our music down, and also not focusing on our passengers.
Where can you get information on how to get a parking pass?
Transportation.unt.edu.
If you park in a garage, make sure you pay on the app or look for further instructions on how you should pay.
And remember, no pass, no park. Let's all try to keep our Mean Green community safe.
Remember, we're all in this together.
Drive safe.
All right, look up here. 1, 2, 3.
Mom, Dad, I got it.
You're right, Mom. I have.
I'm live here from the UNT Super Pit where the UNT Mean Green men's basketball team has had a bit of a rocky start to their season. One of our very own reporters, Jordan Lindsay, went to the team's practice to gain some insight into their outlook. Jordan?
After the road win against UTSA this past weekend, the Mean Green men's basketball team are in their last 7 games of the regular season. The Mean Green struggled on the road with a record of 3-6, placing them 11th out of the 13 spots in the American Conference.
Just going off of 4 losses in a row, man, being able to bounce back in a big way. It just wasn't a little win, it was a big win. So I feel like we could just use that game to take a stride on to the rest of these 7 games coming up.
This week, they're back in Denton, ready to face the 12-11 Memphis Tigers on Thursday night. Despite the rough start, head coach Daniel Robinson is still encouraging his team to finish strong.
They definitely kept the main thing, you know, focus on just trying to win and doing the little things every day. They haven't given up on us. You know, they could say that, you know, after that losing streak that, you know, they could have just said, all right, like, it's over with, like, it's whatever. But no, they didn't. They kept working every single day. They put in more hours than anybody in the whole program. And, you know, just seeing that and watching how hard they were kind of inspired us just to keep focused and, you know, keep working every single day.
Thanks, Jordan. We are less than 2 hours away from tip-off, where UNT will face off against the University of Memphis Tigers. Tune in to ESPN at 8 p.m. tonight to support your very own Mean Green as they try to come back from their rocky start. In Olympic news, the Olympic men's hockey tournament began yesterday, marking the first time since 2014 that NHL players have been allowed to compete in the Olympics. We saw Sweden beat the host team Italy, as well as Slovakia beating Finland. On the women's side, the USA team has a perfect record in the preliminary round, going 4-0-0 since they have started the games. Its players come from the first of its kind professional women's hockey league as well, marking the first time professional women's hockey league players have participated in the Olympics. Milan saw heavy snowfall earlier today during the women's half-pipe competition, where we saw U.S. snowboarder Chloe Kim attempt to make Olympic history despite leading the competition heading into the 3rd run. Chloe Kim tried to make a historic run for 3 gold medals in a row for the first time on the men's or the women's competition. However, she was bested by Choi Gao of South Korea in the final run and wiped out on a tricky trick heading into that 3rd run, and did not come gold once again. However, she did take home the silver for the U.S., and that's all I've got for sports. Back to you guys at the desk.
Thanks, Elias. Melanie, watching the Olympics, I cannot stop thinking about how cool it would be to take a spin on the half-pipe or maybe hop in a bobsled.
Yeah, not me. I'm more of a summer fan. But one grandfather in Minnesota is bringing the games right to his family. Steve Bliss built this 300 feet long homemade luge in his backyard. He says he spent over 100 hours creating the course for his grandkids, affectionately known as the Papa Bear Plunge. Bliss posted a video of his creation to TikTok, and now he's received over 2 million views.
And it's not just the grandkids enjoying the ride. Bliss has now opened it up to adults as well. I don't know about you, Melanie, but that sounds fun to me.
Yeah, looks like fun to me. I think I would definitely go ahead and try that. Thanks for watching NTTV Nightly News.
Join us again next week here on North Texas Television.